Hey guys, Claire here, and in today's video, we're going to talk about all things Harry and Meghan. Duchess Meghan was spotted out and about in what looks to be like a photo shoot of some sort. Some theorize that the look is the Adidas tracksuit, the top and the bottom set. Will this photo shoot be in relation to one of the many projects that she has going on? Perhaps something for Netflix, perhaps something for ARO. Only time will tell. But it looks like she's in good spirits and happy. Love that for her. This week, Archewell Foundation posted about the insights from Global Girl Media UK. Recently, the Archewell Foundation and Global Girl Media UK, which is an NGO that empowers young women to become agents of change through producing and distributing their own digital stories, had a very fruitful session. The group discussed critical topics such as elections, unreliable news sources, deepfakes, and AI-generated content. They explored strategies to overcome these challenges, including educating people on how to use critical thinking skills, combat misinformation, and AI deception. Nice job, ladies. We also saw videos of a session that Prince Harry had during his visit to the UK. Let's not forget that earlier this year, Prince Harry met with 50 bereaved military children and young people at a special gathering organized by Scotty's Little Soldiers. Last year, Prince Harry was named as the global ambassador, and during his trip, they engaged in activities that allowed the young people to connect with peers and understand the profound impact of their loss and create a supportive network.
I was like, something's happened to Lee. And as I got to the door, I said, are you looking for me? And they said, are you Corporal Lee, Michael Scott's wife? And I said, yeah, oh my God, the kids was my absolute first thought.
How did you tell the kids?
The worst. I think I sat later that night, I sat Kai down on his bed and he was 5. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, how do you tell a 5-year-old this? Because I literally just, shattered his world. He knew that life was never ever going to be the same. Sorry. I didn't think I'd do this. It just sounds so corny, but I started to think, how many other children have had a parent who's died?
There's nothing corny about that.
I almost want to bring that military community back to you haven't lost it. That people still care. We can't fix what's happened. We can't bring your parent back, but we can make sure you have the very best support, because that's what you guys deserve. Your parents served our country.
What you've done is incredible. It is, truly inspirational. And I'm also really honoured and privileged to be a part of Scotty's now.
This particular interview was equal parts gut-wrenching and heartwarming. It's amazing the incredible amount of good work that this organization does. Born of sorrow and heartache, she was able to create an organization that brings so much to the children and families of veterans who are no longer here, and letting them know that they are not alone. It's a perfect fit for someone like Prince Harry and the work that he does with the Invictus Games. So, yeah. And now the pièce de résistance, Prince Harry, is named as one of the 2024 Espy recipients. And it's so interesting to think back on the very horrible cartoons that would come out of the British media concerning Harry and Meghan, and the very disparaging way that the media had hoped that Harry's life would turn out outside of the firm. And in the 4 years since they've left, they've been thriving, not just surviving. And this is just another example of that. Now, of course, this year's Espy will be hosted by none other than legendary Serena Williams. A lot of people are wondering, will Meghan be accompanying her husband? I think she will. Fingers crossed. So we'll see. What do you guys think? Harry and Meghan have continued to do what they said they would do when leaving. Providing service, right? Service is universal. And we've seen that. One of the conversations that I heard from a segment in the British media is where one of the commentators said this. Harry and Meghan are proving that royals can work outside of the institution, be funded by themselves, and not be dependent on taxpayers' funding. Perhaps this is why the institution and the press spends so much of its time and resources to compete with or vilify everything that Harry and Meghan are involved in. And so far, it hasn't been working. Some of the petty girls online are, upon hearing about this, joked that soon enough we'll see Prince William or Kate out and about around the time that the ESPYs is to take place. Because we know if you really want Prince William to work, just let him know that Harry and Meghan is going to be out and about doing something, and he'll come out. It never fails. It's predictable and pathological at this point.
Another honor for Prince Harry? Yes, and like others, this is based on merit, not nepotism. Yes, that was shade. He is scheduled to receive the Matt Tillman Award at the 2024 ESPYs for his work in making a positive impact in the veteran community. The Pat Tillman Award of Service celebrates those who have made such contributions to others. That is in the spirit of Pat Tillman. Tillman was a safety for the Arizona Cardinals who enlisted in the military after 9/11, and he was later killed by friendly fire in 2004. Kate Jackson, the VP of production for ESPN, said, quote, "It is our privilege to recognize three individuals, Steve Gleason, Dawn Staley, and Prince Harry. These honorees have used their platforms to change the world and make it more inclusive for marginalized and suffering communities, demonstrating incredible resilience, positivity, perseverance, and we're thrilled to celebrate them at the 2024 ESPYs." You can't tell me he is not making his mother proud. As of this announcement, Prince William doesn't have anything on the royal diary set for next week, but I think that will change and we will see him out and about within the next 48 hours, or some announcement coming in the next 48 hours. They are so predictable.
Harry and Meghan, to me, seems to be in that season that follows the uncomfortable growing pains. The season where you finally have let go of the discomfort, the pain, had the time to figure out the next chapter of their life. And now they're just following through. The change of the Sussex website, the institutions that they partner with, the projects that they're creating. It truly seems to reflect them. Meanwhile, the royals are in shambles. And coming out of the Charles and Kate illness situation, one of the most damning things to have occurred is the global distrust of what comes out of the palace gates. I feel like the way Kensington Palace has handled this has done far more damage to the palace and those within it than anything Harry and Meghan could have said or done. Ain't it funny the way that people within the UK press would say that Harry and Meghan are causing great harm to the institution? Honey, the people within the institution are the ones causing the greatest harm by their actions, their lies, the secrets, the cover-ups.
Princess Anne in hospital after the horse accident, so it's not entirely clear what happened here. But bless her, I mean, one of the points being made about this is that means that obviously Princess Catherine is not working at the moment for very good reasons. The King is also with cancer, and now Princess Anne she was knocked out. We were told it was minor, that was the key word yesterday, so just hoping she's going to be all right.
Yes, I mean, never rains but it pours at the minute for the royal family for the wrong reasons. And, someone like Princess Anne, who everybody loves because she's the hardest working royal, actually. I think figures show that she's the one that goes out and does many more events than any of them. So another sort of blow for the royal family. But it does, I hope, if she's going to be out for some time, you might think that there's some other junior royals, ones that we haven't heard about for some time or don't know enough about.
Drag them out.
To come out. Would you ring Harry and say, could you come back and play a midfield role?
I wouldn't ring Harry, no. I don't think he'd pick up if anybody did call him. But I think, it's a perfect opportunity for either Eugenie or the other one. And
I think it's Beatrice.
Beatrice, that's right.
Yeah, well done.
Are you pro expanding the royal family? We're missing 3 due to ill health. They're recovering at the moment. So do we need to extend them?
Yeah, good morning, Storm. Good morning, Dawn and Owen.
Morning.
I completely agree with what Owen is saying. 1,000% I agree with Owen. We don't need a bigger royal family. We do not need them. And I think this is an ideal time that we can completely get rid of the royal family. We don't need it. Like what Owen said, why can't we have ordinary people of the public do those sort of charity works? Why not? Why does it have to be royal family?
Why does it have to be royal family, John? Hold on, let Dawn speak
I do think they are a good advert for the country. I do think we do get a lot of tourists coming here. I mean, the trooping of the colour proved that a lot of people, the coronation the other year was shown on TV around the world. So I do think they're a good advert for the country, and they do make the country money as well. I know before you say it, they cost money as well.
It's not just about a good advert. I think that a lot of the time they're quite an embarrassing soap opera, if I'm honest. I mean, the amount of drama. I mean, every family has that. Every family has dramas.
In the last decade, there has been a lot of bad press around the royal family on a global scale, particularly between Harry and Meghan leaving
Prince Andrew.
and Prince Andrew.
Of course. And then before that, you had look. Let's be honest. The way King Charles behaved. Let's just be honest. The way he behaved towards Diana. I mean, we're not supposed to say that anymore, are we?
No. I mean, can say whatever we want.
Well, there we go. I just think at the end of the day, these are, like anybody else, just random flawed humans who've been arbitrarily put as the symbols of our nation just because they happen to be born.
You know what? I do think actually
they're not gods. They're not like some special superhuman. They're just random human beings who are born because of their genes into this family. Why can't we have people who are actually there because they achieved something and they defied the odds? Often people who grew up in poverty and through their talents and their skills, they do something that we can be proud of as a country.
They're a soft power in its tradition.
No, Storm, can I just say this? I just think the royal family are a dysfunctional family, and I've got no respect for them, and I don't see why this dysfunctional family should be the head of our country. I'm sorry.
Because the rest of the globe quite likes them. They think that it's a
well,
fun
not really.
part of
My
British
family comes from
culture.
America, so my family comes from America, and my family are quite disgusted with their behaviour, to be honest. So the lady before that says, oh yeah, people from other countries are really... No, they're not really, to be honest. They're not.
I wonder whether over time, and because of our media coverage and social media and the fact that we know more about the royal family, they're losing that sort of magic and mystique that they used to have.
One thing I would say that has changed, certainly since the late Queen's time and the coverage then in the media and the way the newspapers dealt with, being in newspapers for a long time now, I think the coverage has changed. There is much less respect from the media in general, certainly from newspapers, and I think that affects people's view of them as well.
Because it just become like celebrities. I mean, it's celebrity culture, isn't
that's
it?
exactly what I mean. That they are their version of the Kardashians.
Well, they're famous for being famous. I didn't really understand the patrons of charity stuff, because surely other members of the royal family, they can be patrons of charities. What's stopping them? I don't understand is. They're not banned, are they, for being... I mean, Harry and Meghan are patrons of loads of charities. So by working royal families, we must be talking about opening libraries. Because otherwise... Because
obsession with libraries.
Because Meghan and Harry do...
Lots of charity work.
So what's the difference? What are we talking about?
I don't actually, it's an interesting point that you bring up. I think you get the title of a working royal, and therefore you have a royal who is a patron of your charity rather than just an individual.
But they're not really I mean, come on, it's
quite well known.
I mean, we're saying the Princess Royal was a patron of 300 charities. Come on, what's she doing?
You guys remember when Rishi Sunak said that Britain is not our word after Jeremy Clarkson's comments about Duchess Meghan, right? But now, when those sorts of comments are directed towards him, he's boo-hooing about it. When I tell you, I legitimately can't stand so many of these people within the hierarchy of these institutions and governmental bodies, because for years they've continued to see the things that are thrown at Meghan. And I do believe that not all of it has been racism. I feel like there's a lot of xenophobia there as well. They'll see everything taking place. Sometimes some of them will contribute to it, and then turn around in the same breath and said that Meghan is not experiencing what we can all see she's experiencing. We've watched it go down in real time. So, sorry not sorry, buddy. I genuinely don't care how he feels when it's directed at him. With someone with that amount of influence, completely discounting and disregarding the horrid things that Clarkson wrote in that article. Absolutely distasteful. Quite frankly, I think they all deserve each other. Rotten to the core.
Does anyone else think it's mental that we spend 10 million quid on a king's birthday party when that money could have been used to provide doctors and nurses who actually save lives? That 10 million quid could have been used for GP appointments. 500,000 of them. But instead of being able to see a GP, we can see a king prancing about on the telly. Why are we paying for it anyway? He's a billionaire, and we're all skint. We finally got to see Princess Kate alive and looking solemn after 6 months off work. Why don't we get 6 months off work on full pay when we get cancer? Or are married to someone with cancer? But Prince William can still manage to go to Royal Ascot and attend an England game in Germany. Oh, how green was that? And piss about on a beach. Oh, I suppose that solving homelessness and bringing peace to the Middle East is just going to have to wait.